Hello everyone and welcome aboard the home of the Hype Train and its dedicated football team, Hype Train FC. It's week 9 of the team's adventures in Sunday League football this season, with the team again on home soil as we welcome former tenants Calcot FC to the aforenamed Calcot Recreation Ground in Reading and District Sunday League's Division 4. Our 5th league outing was on Sunday the 21st of November 2021, and it was the team's reverse fixture in the league against Calcot, with the team picking up an 8-0 victory across the road at Linear Park in our last league outing on Sundays. Calcot were in their light blue home strip, which meant that we opened the catalogue and were able to pull out our red Kitlocker power-up strip for the game. And to start, we had Robert Austin in between the sticks, with Stuart Stannard at left full-back and George Holloway on the right, with Vincent van Lembergen joined by Joe Sawyer in central defence. In midfield, Callum Fox-Spence and Matt Snell were paired together in central midfield, whilst there was support out wide on the left by Jamie Carter and on the right by Paul Hatfield, whilst Callum Parr-Jones was in attacking midfield in support of lone forward Phil Newport. Among the substitutes for the game, Waleed Zaki was joined by Chris Marshall, John Watkins, Sam Padden and Gino Izzo. Ahead of kickoff, if you follow the team, don't forget to hit the like button as well as subscribing to the channel for more action from the train, and you can also find out more about the club by visiting our main website hypetrainfc.com and by visiting our parent website over at thehypetrain.co.uk for more from the Hype Train. We jump into the action with a lot of pressure from the home team here in red. We're working it with Matt Snell and Paul Hatfield in midfield on the right. They feed George Holloway, making a run from right back. He flashes in a cross. It goes towards the back post at Callum Parr-Jones, but the bobble puts him off. Now from a throw-in on the left-hand side, Stuart picks out Vince. The captain's got a lot of time here to pick out his options. He finds Phil. Callum Parr nods back on towards Phil, who takes a shot with his left, but it's bobbling wide of the mark. The team's next venture forward happens when Aaron Priest's goal kick for Calcot goes into midfield. We win the ball with Matt Snell before George Holloway picks the ball up. We're going to have a bit of a patient, measured approach here as we work the ball from right to left. The ball comes out to a Calcot player with Aaron Priest winning it again. Phil then nods on to Callum Parr-Jones here, who feeds him well. CPJ's shot is well saved, and then the ball is passed back to the goalkeeper. It's not a back pass. And then our next opportunity comes from a Stuart Stannard set piece. He whips the ball into the edge of the box, it's cleared back out to Callum. Callum is able to pass out wide to George Holloway. Callum stands still here as the ball is eventually fed back out to him. His tackle eventually leads into what is a shot, and it's wide of the mark again. The team's constant pressure does eventually yield a first goal in the first half, and it happens here when we win back possession of the ball. We do feed the right hand side here, with Calcot going back towards their goal. There's a bit of a mix-up between Calcot as they are robbed of possession. Paul Hatfield wins the ball, runs into the box, squares back for Phil, who's got an easy tap in to make the game 1-0 to the hosts. With the game 1-0 now, we can finally calm down a little bit as we're playing some nice football. Vince here has time on the ball as he picks out a pass on the left-hand side. There's Stuart Stannard, who's got Jamie Carter behind him, but he opts for the cross in. Phil, though, stab is just wide. One eventually does turn into two, and it happens when Calcot have a throw-in. Stuart Stannard wins the header before Callum wins the second. Aaron Priest has the ball before he's trying to flick in. Callum does well, though, to be in the right place at the right time. Phil picks up the ball and finds the perfect pass for Callum Parr-Jones. He rounds the goalkeeper with a little pass before tapping into an empty net himself, meaning Callum Parr's got a goal. The team have a 2-0 lead, and it's a good, confident start to the first half. It's a lot of attacking highlights today for the team as Callum Fox has a corner that's whipped in. The ball's high and it's nodded on by Phil, and then towards Vince at the back post. They weren't able to convert. Calcot's short trip from Linear Park to Calcot, though their former ground, wasn't without something to take away from the game as a long throw here goes into the box. One of their players peels away. He's able to fire in at the back post, and Calcot do have a goal for themselves. The 2-1 lead, though, didn't last long, and the visitors' chances of getting back into the game rapidly vanished here as we're playing the ball back. Myself, Robin Goal, has to take a bit of time here to control the ball before the ball is pinged down the left-hand side. Stuart here does really well to flick on towards Callum Parr-Jones, who then strides into midfield. He picks up Paul Hatfield with a perfect pass before Paul here rounds the keeper himself. He's got a lot of time to pick out the corner. We have a 3-1 lead, and our second and third goals will carbon copies. Before the half-time, we were able to get a fourth goal that really did run the game away from the visitors here. It happens when Paul Hatfield has a lot of time on the right-hand side. He gets in a cross, it catches the wind and it's gone all the way in, meaning Paul's got a double before half-time. The second half is much like the first, with the team in red having a lot of the ball, a lot of the game and a lot of the time to mount pressure on Calcot's goal here. We're able to keep them in their own half, with us winning a free kick from George winning a handball off their player. The resulting set piece is whipped into the box by Stuart Stannard. Calcot do win the initial head before it's cleared away, but only to Gino. Gino feeds Paul, who takes a touch and a second before setting. His shot is fired in, it's low and hard, it beats the keeper, and a bit of trivia, Paul's goal there is our 200th goal for the club. It's a long old morning for Calcot at this point at their old former stomping ground as we're working the ball across the middle. George Holloway here has time to pick out Paul. Paul and George combine down the right hand side with Gino getting involved as well. Paul eventually picks up the ball, he strides into midfield and he gets in a shot off his own to get his fourth goal, though the effort goes wide of the mark with the kids game behind finishing up. With Calcot again unable to get out of their own half here, George Holloway does well to pick up possession down the right hand side. He flashes in a cross that comes out to the box. Callum Fox wins the ball. He's eventually getting the ball onto his right after tussling, though the shot goes wide again. Another goal was never far away, and this time we were able to take our chance when Stuart Stannard passes into Jamie Carter with a throw. We do win the ball here with Chris Marshall feeding Jamie Carter. Carter fires in a great shot, it hits the roof of the net. It's a great finish again as we take a 6-1 lead. From a corner kick, Stuart Stannard is standing over the ball. He whips into the penalty area and somehow we are unable to convert a header from a few yards out. The goals kept coming for the team as the second half wore on. Calcot have a few tired legs as we've got a whole roster of subs to come on, and they did change the game for the better. We do find ourselves here with Gino doing excellently here to feed Carter on the left hand side. Carter whips in a cross for George Holloway at the back post. It's a good header to command a 7-1 lead. Our goal scoring exploits did finish near the end of the game, and it happens when Calcot give away the ball. Joe Sawyer does well here to calmly collect the ball. He feeds Callum, who then goes left out to Stuart. Stuart then has a lot of time to look up and feed in Jamie Carter. He's got a few running in and he's here taking a cross. The cross though is eventually a shot. It goes in at the far post. Jamie's got a double of his own in the second half and it's a good end to the goal scoring. It wasn't without trying though that we were trying to add a 9th and a 10th and so on, and Calcot here starting another attack are unable to clear their lines from a goal kick. John Watkins returning from injury does well to feed myself Rob in an attacking area. I feed Jono on the right hand side here as he's squaring up to Calcot's left back. He's got a lot of time to command though he gives away the ball, though his pressure is untoward with him winning the ball back. He crosses in for Chris Marshall who crashes off the bar here, and somehow Calcot are able to clear their lines. With the full-time whistle blown, we repeated the feat of scoring 8 goals against Calcot in both league fixtures this season, with 5 goal scorers contributing on the day, with Jamie Carter scoring a brace, Phil Newport, George Holloway and Callum Parr-Jones scoring, whilst there was a first hat-trick for the club of Paul Hatfield on the wing. The 8-1 victory moved the team up to second place in RDSL Division 4 with a perfect record after 5 games played, which included a home walkover win against RG6 along the way. Giveback FC's reserves currently led the pack, having played 2 more games, whilst Calcot remained in 10th place, still in search for their first victory of the season. Next up for the team, our run of games at Calcot continued as we were back in action against Pundit FC in EBFL's Premier Division with an 11-goal thriller incoming, so next time on our YouTube channel, stay tuned, and as ever, believe the hype.